Bonjour, Kinamagini na Ireland edition of CAS, coming to you live from the fifth grade room with today's support coach television presentation. Today's presentation, The Heavenly Horses of Han Wudi. The full text reading. This reading will be present for all three reads this week. The only assignment will become on the third read with the comprehension check questions. In the meantime, however, you should still be looking at the first, second, and third read skills. Your first read skills in this lesson were drawing inferences and relationships between ideas. Your second read skills, main ideas and details, and text structure. And the third read skills is always thinking critically about the selection. I'm going to read this text to you. If you're in the first read, think about the orange box skills. The second read, the green box skills. And the third read, the blue box. The Heavenly Horses of Han Wudi. The legend of China's blood-sweating horses has lasted for more than 2,000 years. The first Chinese poem about the horses was written about 113 BCE. It begins, "A gift from the Supreme One. The heavenly horses have been sent down. They are dampened by a red sweat. Their foam flows red." It's no wonder that the legend is endured. Imagine a powerful, purebred horse with the swiftness of wind that descended from dragons. When this horse ran, it was said, beads of blood oozed from its body in place of sweat. These mysterious animals were considered very valuable and called the heavenly horses of the Chinese emperor Han Wudi. During his reign from 141 to 87 BCE, Emperor Han Wudi was worried about the tribes of nomadic horsemen north of his kingdom. Han Wudi sent out scouts in hopes of finding forces to join him in defending against these tribes. Han Wudi's scouts returned without any allies. However, they brought back stories of unusual horses that roamed the western plains. The horses' coats glistened with red sweat. Upon hearing this, Han Wudi devised a plan. Having these horses would be a fearsome safety measure. Fighting for the prize. Han Wudi learned that he could find the blood-sweating horses in a part of Central Asia called the Fergana Valley. When he determined this, he sent an envoy or representative there in about 104 BCE. According to ancient Chinese texts, the man carried 1,000 pieces of gold and a golden horse statue as an offering for the horses. However, the trip did not go well. Fergana's king, Wuku, refused to give up any of his rare and valuable horses. He took the emperor's offered treasure, but then he killed the envoy. Outraged at this news, Han Wudi took action. His determined quest for the heavenly horses was partly about security. Having the creatures would give him military strength, but his army was already much stronger than King Wuku had realized. Han Wudi sent more than 100,000 soldiers to the Fergana Valley to fight for the horses. Victory in Fergana. The Han Emperor's army battled for 4 years in Fergana until the people there finally had enough and surrendered. They beheaded their own king and agreed to give the horses to Han Wudi. Finally, in 101 BCE, the Chinese troops returned home. With them came a herd of 1,000 horses, including many of Fergana's finest ones. Han Wudi finally had what he wanted. Some tales of the horses proved true. They were powerful, high-spirited animals that could gallop at tremendous speed, and blood did seep from their hides. One Chinese writer described the blood as coming out through small holes above their front shoulder blades. The horses were so precious to Han Wudi that he kept them safely inside the palace gates. Wealthy families and members of the Han court coveted them as status symbols. Poets and artists paid tribute to them in songs, poetry, and artworks. The horses were highly prized as objects of beauty as well as war horses. The legend lives. Over the centuries, the legend of the heavenly horses has not been lost. It has gone underground at times, but then it resurfaces. Between 2009 and 2011, archaeologists unearthed Han Wudi's tomb. Inside, they found the bones of 80 male horses. The discovery made front-page news in China And once again, the legend was enlivened. Shortly after the tomb was discovered, academics held a seminar to discuss the blood sweating horses. They determined that it was the Akalteke, a bride that still exists today. It's considered the world's most purebred horse. These scholars also determined the probable cause of the horse's red sweat, most likely. It was a rare condition in which parasites burrow onto the horse's skin, causing irritation. A spirited purebred horse that sweats blood and includes dragons in its family tree, it's the stuff of legends. If this is your first or second read, you have completed today's task. If this is your third read, now return to the Google Classroom, open up the Google form for the comprehension check, and then consider whether you would like to watch the attached video there reading it to you, or go ahead and fill out that Google form. If you're using a paper copy, you know where to submit it. Have a minogishigad, minwa, bamapi.